Today is Isabella's adoption story, and hers actually starts when she was only 2 years old. 2 years old. So Isabella did come to us with her siblings. So that would be Emma, John, Rosie, Elena, and Isabella. So we got all 5 of them at the same time. At that time, Emma was 8, John was 7, Rosie was 5, Elena was 4, and Isabella was just 2 years old. Yep. So, let's start out. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked everybody.
Okay.
What does adoption mean to you? Like, what do you think it means?
When you were at a home and that home was stable, those people were bad, and you went to foster care and you met this family and they fostered you. And after those chickens, oh my gosh. They love you and the home is stable. And they adopt you, and you're their child for the rest of
their life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or forever, really.
Yeah, forever.
Nice. Now, as you can see, Isabella does get sidetracked by chickens.
Yeah. So
what does that say? Your shirt? Let's be honest.
I was crazy before the chickens.
She's our chicken girl. Okay, so yeah, that's I feel like a great meaning of adoption. So how about when you get, like when you go somewhere and you meet someone new, or maybe more than one person, do you tell people right away that you're adopted, or do you just like wait for them to find out?
I don't tell them, really, unless if they like ask or they just figure it out by themselves. Like Gavin, he's not the same color as me. I don't mean that racist. So like people might wonder like, so why are you more whiter than him?
Yeah.
And then I say, oh, I'm adopted and he's also adopted.
Yeah. So sometimes, and we've talked about this before, sometimes it's just obvious because our family, all of us, not every single one of us, but a lot of us look very different from one another. And so then it makes it a little bit more obvious to people. Yeah. What do you think about adoption? Do you have good feelings, bad feelings? How do you feel about it?
I like adoption a lot, but I know like sometimes it can go like the wrong way. Like you can like get scammed.
Oh, you've seen some videos.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sometimes you can get adopted in a bad home too.
Yeah.
But mostly I like adoption. I feel like adoption is probably the best thing for a kid, and not having them be in foster care for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah. And then they go out of the system, they have no parents, and they don't have, help by anybody. So then they usually end up on the streets. So I usually would like adoption.
Yep.
It's better, and
so there's pros and cons, but overall you like it. Do you remember let's say you were with us for almost 3 years, and then you went back to your birth mom for just a tiny little bit. Do you remember that? Do you remember going back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit.
There's just a tiny little story I want to tell about this because it just absolutely broke our hearts. So because Isabella came to us at 2, she just always thought that she was ours. Even though she went on visits, even though we explained it to her, and at this time, right, she's 2, 3, 4 years old, and she just, I don't know. I don't know if she wouldn't accept that fact or what it was, but there was just something where she just thought she was ours, regardless of the visits, regardless of telling her, that when she went on visits, that was her birth mom, explaining what that meant, at her age level. But she just, she would go to daycare and she would say, and at the time your name was Denisa,
yeah.
And we called her Nisa. So she would say, I'm Nisa Conley. And we had some people get upset about that, and they thought we were doing it on purpose, and we were not doing it on purpose. And she would just always say that, and we would say, no, your name is, and we would tell her first, middle, last, but she would just always say that she was Nisa Conley. And so then what happened was she did end up going back. The 5 kids went back to their birth mom, and they were there for 1 month, and then they came back to our home. And when we picked them up, she ran to us and she started crying, and she said, why did they take me away from you? Oh my God. It was so hard not to cry. I didn't want her to see me cry. And so I held it in, but do you remember that? You probably don't remember that. She was 4 when she went back, and then she had her 5th birthday.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I got makeup.
Yeah. She had her 5th birthday with her birth mom, and then came back. And so she left at 4, came back at 5, even though it was only a month. But I will never forget that moment, because I was just absolutely heartbroken, because she thought that it happened opposite. She thought she was ours, and they took her away from us and gave her to someone else. And again, we kept trying to explain to her, because we feel like it's so important for the kids to understand what's happening. Also, it helps them, I feel like, navigate their world so much easier when they're prepared for things, when they have a full understanding of things, age appropriately, of course. And so we would always try to make sure that they knew what was happening and that they had an understanding. And man, talk about and so that was tough. I felt like that was tough. There are a lot of hard things about fostering and getting to the point of adoption sometimes. And so then after that, you guys came back, and then it took us a whole entire year after that. And then the kids were finally adopted.
Yeah.
And you got adopted by yourself.
Yeah, I did.
So this is another really hard decision with Isabella's story, because she had a different dad, and her dad had appealed the termination decision. And so we had to decide, did we move forward with the other 4 kids' adoption? Actually, it was 5, because Charlie came.
Charlie.
Yeah. So we had to decide, do we move forward with the other 5 kids' adoption and then adopt Isabella separately? Or do we make everybody wait so we can adopt all 6 of them together? And ultimately, because the kids had been waiting so long for that final stability, we ended up deciding that we were going to go ahead and adopt the 5, and then Isabella would have her own separate adoption. And it really wasn't that long.
No, it wasn't.
6
It was
months.
6 months.
Yeah. But so it took the other kids 4 years to go from being removed to adoption. And I'm not counting that, going back for a month. And then for you, it was 4.5 years.
Jeez.
But yeah, I have a friend, and she has a daughter, and they are waiting for their adoption day, and she's been in foster care for 6 years.
6 years?
6 years. Yep. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that is just how unfortunate sometimes the system can be. So, okay, so let's say that you have a friend, okay, and she's your age, and she is in foster care,
Okay.
and she's going to get adopted.
Okay.
Okay. What advice would you give her? You already know that's
Yeah. Be brave with it, and it can be hard sometimes, depending like how long you were with them. But this family, they love you so much, and they want you, and there is a reason why they want to adopt you. So try feeling that love and try giving that love back, because when you're older, that will be so special to you, and your parents will be so lucky to have you in their lives. So be brave.
Absolutely. I feel like that's great advice. And what about if there's somebody out there that's in foster care, but like they haven't been adopted yet? Because you kind of know how that feels.
Yeah.
To be in foster care but have uncertainty. Any advice for like somebody who is more maybe uncertain?
If you're in like foster care, if you love a family, try tell them, because then they will keep that. Like mom and dad, they would keep that, and they will start talking about it, and then they will try to make a decision, kinda, and.
Well, I feel like you make a good point, like as far as loving one another, because so foster care and adoption can be, well, foster care can be very bittersweet. So you have a child, you love them so much, and at first I'm sure they're scared to love you.
Yeah.
And then maybe they decide to open up and they decide to love you. But then there is some loss on that other side, right? Regardless whether they go back to their birth family or whether they stay, there is loss either way. They're either going to lose their foster parents or they're going to lose their birth parents. And it really is kind of sad if you think of it like that, because ultimately what is best, I feel like, is if they could go back to their birth parents yet keep the relationship that they had or made with the foster parents. To me, that would create better attachment, or oh gosh, what's the word for it? Not better, but like less problems. I feel like you would have with attachment. There would be less attachment issues. They would have a better understanding of attachment and what it looks like, and healthy attachment. And there are a lot of times I feel like where foster parents do actually befriend the birth parents, and they do continue to have a relationship after the kids go back. I feel like that's ultimately what's best for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know, like, if you're like fostering like a teenager, they can be a lot more closed.
Yeah, especially depending on how much trauma they've had, how much they've moved.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like therapy's the way to go.
Therapy, yeah.
So then they can express it without being judged, hated on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a third party to talk to.
And then the therapist can also like help you, like, okay, well, your child's going through this, so she probably needs this,
Yeah, to help the parents then, work through whatever it is the child happens to be going through. And I do think that a lot of times with teenagers, if they've been in the system a long time, right, they will get hardened to that. Like their heart will become a little bit harder to it, to just like to that, not in general, but just because they don't want to open up. They're scared. I think about, first of all, nobody wants to be removed from their parents.
No.
Regardless, I can't even imagine being taken, and how that would feel. And then you have to think they're losing all of their other connections, usually school, usually friends, teachers, neighbors, other like extended family. There's a lot of people that they end up losing.
Yeah.
And all those things have to be taken into consideration, I feel like, when you're fostering, and when you decide to adopt. Again, there's a whole nother process, I feel like, of loss, that they're going to go through that needs to be worked through. And we have done a lot of therapy. Our kids have been in years and years of therapy. Very helpful. I feel like it's good to have a therapist that they like and that works well with you too, because there is sometimes a lot of, right, like back and forth between the therapist and the parents. The parents are usually the ones helping do the work for the kids. So, yeah. Other thoughts do you have about adoption? Have you ever known anybody that's been adopted? Like at school or...
I don't think so.
No, you haven't?
I think.
Yeah, I know some of the other kids have had friends that have been adopted. And
Yeah. They've told us stories. Like, the only thing I can think of is, like, I'm so grateful that we still know our grandma and grandpa.
Yes, we definitely keep the connections with birth family. Any birth family that's healthy, that could have or teach good relationships to the kids, we definitely keep those connections.
Yeah.
Those are important, I feel like.
And they even come over sometimes here.
Yeah,
Like, that's like 4 hours away too, isn't it?
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah, they've come to visit. Yep. And we'll usually have like lunch or something with them. And they have actually like basically adopted all of our kids as grandkids. So they don't look at them any different. They're all their grandkids, and it's really it's so neat, because then you're building your family. And yeah, I think that's so cool. That's one of my favorite things about it, honestly. How about getting adopted with other children who are not your biological siblings? Do you feel like everybody's your sibling?
Yeah, I really don't like to think, they're not my birth siblings, so I can't love them as much as I love my birth siblings. I never think of it like that. I always like to think I'm birth to mom and dad.
Yeah.
They're my real parents. My siblings, they're all birth to mom and dad.
Yeah.
So
we're all just one big family.
Yeah.
Like a normal family. Yeah. And I will say that when you were little, her and Gavin just had the most special relationship. And Izzy's our little mother. And so she's incredibly responsible and very mature. And you can count on Izzy to do just about anything. And she never has to be, she sometimes has to be told. But oftentimes she doesn't even have to be told. She just does it because she knows she needs to. So they were 3, I think. And I have this picture, and it's so cute. And Gavin, I think, was leaning over, and he was upset. And Izzy comes over and wraps her arms around him to comfort him. And you were always Gavin's little mom. I was.
I still am.
I do think so, too.
If he's on his computer or something, I'm Gavin, go clean your room. It's starting to smell in there a little bit.
Oh my gosh. So, yes, I feel like Izzy still is Gavin's little mom and always tries to make sure he's doing what he needs to do. But you've always been like that. And you guys are what? 6 months.
Yeah.
So Izzy is only 6 months older than Gavin. But it seems like way more than that. But she's always, just had this motherly instinct to her. Even with our little kids. I feel like if they need something, she's right there. Or if we need help, she's right there to help with them. Or you've always just had that in you.
I never go to my room.
No.
I have a fear oh my gosh, what if something's happening downstairs? Or what if Dad bought cookies and everybody's having them? I need to be there.
That's so funny. You also don't like leaving.
No, I always stay home.
Yeah. Even if she oftentimes has an option to go places. And she always chooses to stay home. She feels, I don't know, is it safe, or is it that you feel like you're going to miss something, or is it, what is it?
I'm like not sure. I think it's like not. I'm extroverted, by the way.
She's
I make
an
friends
extrovert.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like the thought of so many people like walking by so many people and
So
being in the car so long and
really. You do go places though.
Yeah, I do go places sometimes, like youth group, but
yeah. She does do stuff outside of the house. It's just that if she has a choice, oftentimes she will stay home. And I think that's interesting. It's so interesting, the kids' different personalities, because we basically have one child every age, starting at, although we do have 3 older kids in their 20s, but 17, because it goes 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, 8, then 8. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is crazy. Anyways, how about last adoption thoughts? I'm trying to think of some of the other questions that I asked the kids. And I think that was all of the questions.
I remember when you asked me to get adopted.
Do you remember that? Do you remember? We had a sit-down meeting. We had a sit-down meeting when we talked with everybody about doing the adoption separate. Do you remember? I remember that. And
I think I remember a tiny little slim of it.
Really? Do you remember when we told you guys that you guys were getting adopted?
Yes. For the older kids, they were all at the dining room table.
Yeah.
I really liked that table. And you guys wrote on the whiteboard when the date when they were getting adopted.
Yep.
And that's also the day where Mom told me what adoption means too.
Oh, is that the day?
Uh-huh. I remember.
Oh, that's funny. Interesting. I don't remember that.
You don't?
No, but I'm sure that would be important to you, so you would definitely remember that.
I remember I was on the table and hey Mom, what does adoption mean? Because you said they were getting adopted. I'm what does adopted mean?
Oh
and then
my gosh.
You said it because I was 7 or 8.
You would have been 6.
I was 6.
Yeah.
Yep. So then, Mom had told me that easily.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when, they stick with us for the rest of their life. And, that's...
Actually, Isabella's adoption day video is one of my favorite videos to go back and watch.
Really?
Yeah, there is just something about that video that I feel like is so special. And we hadn't really been on YouTube very long. I want to say it was less than a year. And yeah, there's just something about that video that I really like about it. If you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch it. But the other one too is we have a YouTube short of the day that we told the kids at the dining table. And that was the day that Elena started crying. And I didn't know, I'm are those happy tears? Because I was oh my gosh, is she crying because she's upset? She's,
Yeah.
And
then she gave, Dad a big hug.
Yeah. And she's I'm are they happy tears? She's yes. And I'm oh, thank goodness.
I was hoping.
Yeah. So, adoption to you is a good thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we said, there's pros and cons to it, but overall, good. Yeah, I think that's all my questions for you.
Nice.
I can't really think of anything else to ask unless you have any last-minute thoughts, but... Okay, well, that is it for Izzy's adoption story. I hope you learned at least a couple new things, because it's always fun kind of going back and talking about those memories. I feel like for us, they're such good memories, and I really enjoy getting to talk about them. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.